Yesterday, I dropped my ham and cheese croissant into a crosswalk, and then I still ate it. I was really hungry.
A new low for you, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
My new landlord won't put screens on my windows, so I guess I'm getting mosquito bites for the next year.
Oh, cool. Children scream a lot.
Last night, my next door neighbor was playing Everybody Hurts by REM super loud and on repeat.
Oh, that's fun. Have such a good day. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to our podcast, Have Such a Good Day.
Welcome. I'm Heather.
I'm Sarah, and I'm wearing Heather's Adidas jacket, and I feel like I'm Run DMC.
You are Run DMC.
Yeah, pretty much. And somebody's calling me, which is a telemarketer, because that's the only kind of person that calls me from that area code.
Gotta love it.
I'm on to you, you people who want to reduce my student loan debt. Guess what? I don't have any.
But if you did, you could be a sugar baby.
I have a lot of other debt.
Yes.
Just not student loan debt. If you could just come up with some other scam, I might stay on the line with you. Unfortunately, student loans isn't one of them.
Well, welcome to our show.
Yeah, we're actually, for anybody who's watching the video version of our show, we're on Heather's deck again. Two weeks in a row here. Got a mosquito bite or two.
Yeah, probably.
Got a mosquito bite or two myself, Heather.
I got a couple on my ass.
Oh,
I do. I really do.
That's not.
I'm like, how did they get there?
Because
I don't really want to know.
Because,
but
you got to scratch. Like, I'm scratching. You got to scratch, and you don't want to be scratching your butt.
I know. I'm telling you, because then I'm in public and I'm just
scratch your butt by yourself.
I'm like
but
acting like
public.
some kind of like monkey, like, in the jungle. Like, no, it's no
Start
good.
picking through people's hair.
It's no
Just
good.
take it all the way. This is the show where Heather and I talk about, well, all things
Culture, music, life,
the internet,
moving,
things
whatnot.
that bug us,
Yeah.
moving. Yeah, so
Animals.
last week we were at Heather's new house. I now live very close by. We were going to shoot at my house, but and record for anybody watching the audio or listening to the audio version rather. But it's a little full of boxes. I need another week, so you'll see it next week. But overall, we've both survived.
Oh, we have. We are still intact. Although tonight we had to go back to her house like 4 times because
it was
kept forgetting cables.
Yeah.
And
luckily it's a brisk 2-minute walk.
it is literally.
So,
and in fact, we ran into each other this morning just haphazardly.
Yeah, I'm like, hi, Heather. Hello, neighbor.
I think she was stalking me. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like that TV show where the guy like looks over the backyard fence.
Right.
I don't remember what that was called.
It was called Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be us.
And you never saw him.
I never saw him.
Well, what's funny is that, and no joke, LA is huge, and we now live super close to each other, which is so comforting.
It really is.
But this show would not have been, I wouldn't have been able to go home 4 times.
No.
I would have just been like, sorry.
We're not going to have a show this week.
Or just dark. Like, we have, like, I'm sorry I came here. We're going to have to, like, shoot later this week. It just won't happen.
See, this is what happens every week. There's usually something that sort of, I like to call it a snag. There's a lot to think about every week, especially with only 2 brains that are maxed out. And so usually we're a little bit scatterbrained and things slip through the cracks because, just that's what happens. But we pull it off every week.
Speaking of snags, this is a real weird, just non sequitur.
Mm-hmm.
So for the past few years, every so often, an article of clothing of mine, and it's usually something that's kind of knit and kind of delicate, I'll look at it and I'm like, why are there all these holes in this garment? And I'm thinking, like, is it my cats? No, because they don't do that.
Man.
Is it moths?
Yes. I had to throw away a bunch of stuff before I moved. Like my favorite Theory jacket that I've had for 5 years, my winter coat, it has mysterious holes like someone like gnawed through. Definitely moths. They're evil. I hate them.
Okay.
And those cedar blocks do not work.
Okay, but like, where are they? I don't see moths in my home ever.
They're hard to see because they're really small. Like I don't think that they're like the big ones. Maybe the big ones eat through too, but there's like these tiny ones. I actually saw one in my closet yesterday, and they're really like light and you can't see them very much. But if you kind of move clothes, you'll see one come out. You'll see one at some point.
That's
but they
interesting.
are awful.
Well, okay, mystery solved.
Maybe you get some mothballs and then you'll be legit an old lady. Which they smell disgusting. Please don't get mothballs. I hate that smell.
I don't even know what a mothball is. I thought a mothball was something a moth did. I just like, I don't know. All right, well, cool. Yeah, one of my favorite shirts, which actually kind of has sort of like it's kind of like not a tiger print, but it's sort of a.
Oh, I know which one.
Yeah. So it's just full of holes now, and I'm like.
And is it wool?
I don't.
Because usually they like wool.
Okay.
I bet there's a wool in it.
There might be. It might be a very thin wool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of it's not heavy, but it's
like they won't eat through this because it's like polyester. You know.
Well, I was thinking maybe I'll wear it on the show, and you guys can all tell me if I'm crazy or not. Like, I was like, it almost looks like it has holes on purpose because shirts do that these days.
Yeah.
Depending on the shirt, and you can
just wear it at home.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
So that's been a lot of fun.
Well, that sounds exciting. So I wanted to tell you guys about our bonus topic coming up after the show. As you know, for $5 ballas, patrons, contributors to the show and above $5 will get a bonus topic every week. We casted a poll yesterday, and the winning topic is, what are your top 3 strengths? And which strengths do you look for in friends and partners?
Okay.
It's a good one.
It's a little sort of 2-for-1.
A 2-parter. Yeah, so you guys are getting...
Anybody who might be listening or watching us for the first time, when we say patrons, we mean folks that are contributing to our show on patreon.com/havesuchagoodday. $5 per month gets you a whole bonus topic
and
on top of this
newsletter
wonderful show and a newsletter and
our fun things.
Our undying devotion.
Yeah, and then we get your name gets in the credits. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, and we have a lot of other stuff in store. So we will probably load up some new little treats for probably the $10 patrons.
I was looking for treats. Mothballs, not invited.
Do not send us mothballs.
But yeah, if you want to peruse patreon.com/havesuchagoodday, learn a little bit more about what we're about. And the various tiers of support, because we're completely community supported.
We are.
We would love you forever.
We do, and we love our patrons. They're what is keeping these lights on.
Truly.
And keeping the dark in the back.
Right.
You can't have light without dark.
It's always darkest before the dawn. Wasn't that a song?
Or a poem or something.
Well, it was who's the redhead?
Oh, is it like a hairband kind of thing?
No. She's Florence the Machine.
Oh, Florence the Machine.
Yeah.
Okay,
So darkest before the dawn.
I know that song. Yeah. That's a great song. Yeah, she's great.
As you can probably hear, I'm a little raspy this week, so I probably shouldn't be singing anything. But it was
sexy.
It was, well, thank you for saying so. It was quite a bit worse last week. So we're on the mend. I've been told to drink tea with honey in it.
Yes, by too many people.
I'm like, hey, if I knew where my honey or my tea was, because it's in one of the 40 boxes in my kitchen, maybe I'd do that. But thanks for the advice, assholes.
I mean, it is incredible that we're here today. I mean, that we actually made it here. We have all of our wires and all of our wits about us, or maybe a few wits we don't have about.
Right. Exactly.
But you will see. We will see how this show goes. So how has your week been, Sarah? I mean, other than the move, we've been talking about moving a lot, so we won't bore you with all the details.
We won't belabor that point. But before we move on, my move was. I mean,
a nightmare.
When I say, I want to say hellish, but I'm like.
It's worse than that.
I have the privilege to have hired movers. Yeah. Right. So it's like, yes, actual hell, very different. It was not an enjoyable day. It was very long. Everything looks just gross and dusty, and you just want to die. But got through it, all good. Really like my new place. Lots of stuff to do.
I like it too.
Thank you. every box that I take downstairs, I'm like, okay, that's one. You know, you made some progress.
Totally.
Even if it's a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep it going.
Yep.
You know, just a little bit every day or a lot.
Exactly. And it does take some time so don't be hard on yourself. Just like,
no, not at all.
Even if you do one box a day, you'll get it done.
Not at all. And what's kind of funny is that I have a new dog, obviously. You saw him, or you heard me yelling at him in episode 15. But he and my cats have like magically sort of decided that they love each other. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the cats weren't somewhere before he came along.
Yeah.
So they have no territorial
Exactly.
thing. They're all like, okay, it's the three of us.
We're in this together.
My new bathroom is a little weird. It's a cool bathroom. I actually really like
your
it.
bathroom.
Great light, real nice fixtures, all the good stuff. However, when you're at the sink brushing your teeth, the mirror's behind you. There's a window, which is kind of nice. You know, there's a lot of light in there, but it's like I just want to turn and look the other way and not be facing my sink. I guess I'll just get used to that.
You know, I have some quirky little things like that here too that I'm not used to. Like everything's just different. You know, I have drawers in my bathroom and not a cabinet with shelves, which is super weird. And so all my stuff is like fallen over, like, right, 'cause it's in a drawer.
Open the drawer.
That's weird. And then, there's some funky stuff you have to get used to. But yeah, so earlier tonight when Sarah and I came up the hill for like the second time with the things that we forgot at our house, we got freaked out because we ran into a little furry friend, a possum who seemed a little ill.
Well, the possum was pooping on the sidewalk.
It was.
Now, this was earlier, so it was bright light outside.
It was weird to see it because usually you see them at night.
A possum is a nocturnal animal.
Totally.
And they usually aren't so bold because we were pretty close.
Oh yeah, totally.
And it just sort of like went under a car and watched us walk by.
Poor little guy. I wanted to.
I like possums. I don't care what anybody says.
I think they're pretty cool too. You want to be careful because I think they can bite. So just like don't get too close.
I've heard people say
they have
like
rabies and stuff.
I've heard people say they're like giant rats, and I'm like, but I like rats too.
Well, speaking of animals, I wanted to mention, there's a lot of helpless creatures. Well, creatures are helpless because, they need our help to survive in a lot lot
depends on the creature.
Domestic animals.
A lion isn't very helpless.
No, and in fact, we should probably just stay away from animals like that because we just only harm them. But my friend Lisa, who listens to the show, her cat Gus just passed away, and it's very sad because she spent a lot of time, taking him, to the hospital and taking care of him and giving him acupuncture and everything. But it's a very sad thing. So I just wanted to say rest in peace to all the creatures out there who are leaving the world as we speak. And
goodness.
I had read an article today about a lot of frogs are becoming endangered.
Okay,
it's very sad.
And
So
is there like a clear reason? Is it like polluted water?
It's polluted water. And the orangutans, kelp and coral. I mean, the list goes on. The only things that survive are possums, roaches, and rats, and very rich humans. It seems like that's the world that we're going to be living in.
Well, thanks to very rich humans.
Those things are thriving.
Not all rich humans are horrible, but some very rich humans are horrible. Mm-hmm. And every time
They're like
see
roaches.
One of those pictures of a polar bear all skinny up there,
oh man,
I want to...
It's heartbreaking.
I want to punch somebody.
I know.
Even though I probably won't, but I want to.
I hear you, man. Well, I mean, I think about it all the time. Anyway, so that's my my anecdote.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks for just pumping us up here on the show. No, it's funny. You know how you have like stress dreams and they come out in really weird ways.
Yeah.
So, and I've been very stressed lately, and I've been having. I won't list them all, but I did have. Just speaking of animals, the other night, I had a dream that this is before I moved, and I was just like not in a good headspace at all, and my dog Otis. He was missing. He had gone missing.
In your dream?
In my dream. Yeah. This did not happen in real life. I'm very good with leashes. But in the dream, I kept running into dogs because he's very, he's got a very distinct look. Mm-hmm. I kept running into dogs that looked like him but weren't him.
Oh, I totally have dreams like that.
So I'm like, I kept being like, no, that's not
Yeah.
him. That's not him. And they were kind of all over the place. Like they were like weird, like doppelganger, but
Weird.
like odd.
That is so creepy.
Yeah, like the ears were a little different, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
eye
yeah.
wasn't blue, or it was like, and it was like, and I'm kind of like, it was awful.
That
I mean,
sounds
like,
terrible. Did you wake up sweating?
I woke up, where you wake up and it didn't happen,
Yeah.
but you're still really upset
Oh yeah, I have dreams like that a lot.
because you're kind of still asleep.
Mhm.
You're sort of like, okay, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
You have to like remind yourself.
Yeah, but like I'm gonna like lay here and freak out, even just because like, why did my brain do that? Just very odd.
I really relate to that because I have very vivid dreams like all the time. I mean, they're not always like nightmares or anything, but I have had some this week too. I don't remember them, but I honestly, so many mornings wake up and it takes me a few seconds to realize that this is my reality and that what I just came from isn't. Like
sure.
I have such vivid.
Oh yeah.
I have like another life. I like live another life in my dreams. It's crazy.
Here's the worst one. And this doesn't happen to be very often, but it has happened more than once. So you're having a nightmare. You wake up and you realize, okay, that was a dream and I'm in bed and that's okay. And then you go back to sleep and it continues.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst. I know.
And that's why I'm like, lucid dreaming, I got to
Yeah.
get on that thing.
Oh,
Because,
seriously.
Because I go back to the dream and I'm not like Sarah saying, ha dream, I
No.
got you. I've already woken
I
up.
know.
It's just like you go back into like this like nightmare world.
That actually really freaks me out. There were times I'd have periods where I'd have really bad nightmares and that would happen and I would have to like have you ever had that thing where you have to force your eyes open but it feels really heavy because your eyes are just like very tired, and I've had so many times where I'm like I can't wake myself up but I have to because I don't want to go back in that dream. Anyway,
man,
yeah, we'll talk more about our dreams because it's clearly not everybody dreams though, or I think everybody dreams, but a lot of people don't remember them, which I find to be sort of sad because I really enjoy my dreams. Like I find them I think they really contribute to my creativity.
I like them if they're not about weird like
your teeth breaking in your mouth and weird anxiety dreams.
Anxiety dreams are actually the ones that I remember the most. I don't want to say, oh, I wish I didn't dream or didn't remember them because, yes, sometimes they're interesting. You know, like,
totally.
I can breathe underwater. Those are the best dreams. But yeah, stress dreams they're the pits because you wake up exhausted.
Oh, it's crazy.
And in a bad mood.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole situation. I mean, I think, I love sleeping and I love dreaming, but I'm telling you, those nightmares, I think that it's like that Nightmare on Elm Street has just seeped into my subconscious.
A friend asked, hey, you want to go see the new Halloween? And I was like, nope.
I do. I actually do.
Well, you can go with him then. Because I'm like, no.
I actually really do because it's by like David Gordon Green, I think is the director, and he's a cool it's interesting because I think in the last few years, I feel like there's been like a lot of good directors who have,
Made horror
basically
movies?
directed horror movies in the last like few years. And David Gordon Green, in fact, Danny McBride did the screenplay. That's crazy. You know Danny McBride, that comedian actor. Anyway, I really want to see it because David Gordon Green is a good director. Anyway, so tell me about this your TV mounting adventure, Sarah.
Oh, Heather, I'm glad you asked. This actually works out nicely since we're talking about movies. So just moved, and I'm one of these people I need my TV mounted. Well, I don't need it mounted, but I like it. I'd like it to be mounted, and when I mean mounted, like off the stand and on a wall.
Yeah.
And if possible, if the price is right and the landlord says, okay, I want the cables to go behind so you don't have the strip, right? Although the strip is fine. But, if I can get away with it, I'll roll them down the back of the wall. So I don't remember who I used when I used to live out at the beach, and whoever that was local, and it wouldn't make any sense for him to be in this neighborhood anyway. So what do you do? Well, I always go to Yelp and
Yeah.
I read, all these people like just talking shit about why this person was,
Yeah.
It's,
Totally.
It's the Yelp wormhole.
It's like so and so was late, 1 star, like da, da, da.
Or just, yeah, it's just, and then I end up just hanging out on Yelp. Like, there are a lot of good reviews on Yelp,
Sure.
but there are a lot of reviews where you're just like, okay,
Is that fair? Yeah.
yeah, like whatever. So there's a particular company that's like 146 reviews, 5 stars, sounds great to me. And one of the best reviews that I read was, watching Frank work is like watching Winston Wolfe from Pulp Fiction work. Downright impressive.
That's amazing.
Where I'm
I love
like,
it.
okay, so you were impressed, but like, how
It was,
is
like,
that the
cinematic?
character? Yeah, like it's very specific, and you're probably a Pulp Fiction fan, and that's great. But like, just okay,
Interesting.
like, I want to meet this Frank.
Totally.
I want him to install my TV, and I want to be so impressed.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna hire him?
Well, he works for a company where I am actually hiring this company. They're coming tomorrow. Pray for your girl. But it won't be Frank, according to the name that I got that was coming. But
Maybe you.
but I will be inquiring about Frank in the
you
future.
definitely need to, because I would like to meet this guy too, and he has my last name. So
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about that. I always forget. I have a very good friend, Frank. In fact, he and Trish watch the show.
hi guys.
And Michi too. Hi, Mich. But yes. But yeah, it's fine. Well, I know people with the first name Lane.
I know. Well, we have 2 first names, both of us.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's funny because sometimes when people have 2 first names, I'm like, that's weird.
I think we have the same syllables too.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, Heather, Lane, Frank. It's pretty cool, man.
3 syllables each.
Woo, woo.
Except that my middle name is 3 syllables and
Christina,
yours is 2.
Catherine.
Yeah, no one says Catherine.
Catherine. That's a good. I don't know. Is that 2 syllables?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
I need to work on my syllables.
No one says Catherine.
Catherine.
Well, maybe they do, but I've never.
I'd like you to call me
Heather Catherine.
Catherine, please. Yeah.
I will.
Anyway, so we've been talking about all these different, not even, it's kind of happenstance, but we've been talking about different kinds of love. Like last week you talked about the bodega guy and how you're like, he's not a stranger, but he's sort of this guy that's in your daily life that you don't know very well, but you had a connection.
Yeah.
And you care about each other
I already
on
miss
some
him.
level. Yeah, exactly. Well, I was thinking about also, one of my favorite, like I would say, I guess, someone I idolize, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, of course.
She won the 21st annual Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, and she deserves it. I mean, she's amazing.
She's one of the funniest.
I love her, and I feel like close to her. Like I feel like if I, like, so this is sort of about when you love someone that you've never met.
Sure.
Which is obviously people get like into celebrities and that sort of thing. So that's sort of the example. But there's something about certain people, like certain celebrities, that you feel like I could literally have like brunch with her and feel like really comfortable. And I would like to. So if you're listening, Julia, let's go have brunch.
Julia, Heather is available.
I like Bloody Marys. I like mimosas, but I'm down for whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. Anyway, I thought
boozy brunch is what you
brunch. That's what I would like.
Like,
I would like to talk shop.
Let's get brunch. Bloody Mary, mimosa, either would work.
Yeah. Eggs Benedict. No, I'm not even an Eggs Benedict person. I'm more of like a huevos rancheros person.
Yeah, I can see the hollandaise not being your thing.
No,
I
it's
love
not.
a good Eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
Man.
I hear you. I understand. I mean, that's why it's so popular.
I mean, I even got mayonnaise on the ham and cheese croissant that I dropped on the streets. And by the way, just for the record, this was not like, it was like, this was a very busy, gross, asphalt, long crosswalk with cars waiting for me. So
and
like
everyone saw it.
Yeah, I was with Otis and he pulled me weird, and it's like the sandwich it wasn't like in a bag. I was holding it like in a napkin, so it was just straight up on the street.
I love that. I bet someone who saw that happen went to work and went, "Oh my God, you won't believe what I just saw."
Because
this girl ate her ham and cheese croissant.
I didn't eat it like
in front of everybody
in the street. I picked it up and scurried away like a little,
possum.
like a possum or maybe a rat, and then I ate it, and there was gravel in
I bet it was good though, especially if you got mayonnaise on it.
I got it again
Egg,
today.
Cheese, and mayonnaise. That is
And ham.
decadent. Oh man,
And a
that sounds good.
croissant.
Yeah.
And it was warm. I mean, it's. I'm gonna be a huge person pretty soon because I might get it tomorrow. It's delightful, but that's neither here nor there.
I love it. I actually came across a story today that you might not know about, but I think you would think it was interesting.
Okay.
Do you know that because of this whole like Me Too movement,
I like how you say it like dismissively, like the Me Too
you know that
thing.
movement, that little thing
Right.
that's going on out there.
Okay.
So especially with HBO in particular is The Deuce has a lot of sex in it because it's about the porn industry
yeah,
in the
and
70s.
prostitution and all that. Mm-hmm.
And so they have hired an intimacy coordinator. This is a thing. There's a bunch of companies now that do it.
Okay.
And it's literally like another production person who oversees the sex scenes and makes sure that like
People
the
are
actress
comfortable.
like has like maybe a pillow for her knees. That they give them like
Oh, so this is not like mental intimacy. It's more like actual like stunt coordinator.
well, no, it's more like making sure that like it's not going too far kind of thing. So it's not just about the comfort of the actors, but it's kind of like, all right, is this going to like be politically correct or is this going to, is this going to cause a stir? But they also have this thing that's like, it's some kind of like mouth freshener that's also a lubricant, like to make things easier, like on the actor and that sort of thing. I just thought it was interesting.
Whoa. Mouth freshener, lubricant. Like, they're not actually blowing each other.
Well, but they have to actually blow like a plastic thing. I mean, there's something there that
I thought
no, it's not real.
Okay.
But
Okay,
things like
all
The
right,
Deuce
I see what you're
and
saying.
HBO and certain, R-rated content. I mean, think about it. Like you see a
Sure.
lot. In fact, I think
Yeah.
you saw male parts in one of the last episodes.
Sure did.
I think you're the one that told me that. You were like, "Whoa,
Sure
whoa,
did.
Nelly." I think that's what you said.
I didn't say that, but I remember the scene, and I was like, that was a full frontal
Because you
situation.
don't see that very often.
Well, I mean, here and there, but it was very like just like shaking in the wind.
Anyways, I was thinking like I looked up. So the one woman that was profiled with the one intimacy coordinator that was profiled in this article, she was originally like a producer. She was like had a lot of our background, but then she like was like wanted to specialize. I'm like, hey man, maybe I could do something like that. Be an intimacy coordinator. I mean,
I think you'd be great
I think
at
I'd
it.
be really good at it.
Yeah, you like add a little,
I think it's my calling.
add a little back help and
Yeah.
pillow for the knees and just make sure
Yeah.
everybody's you feeling good.
Yeah, I think I would be.
You're not weirded out. I okay, I don't really want to be on the set of a pornography shoot, but I am curious because you know that it's like actually not sexy at all,
No,
right?
not
like
at all.
maybe some amateur stuff is like actually fun for everybody, but the actual productions is
It's very sterile.
yeah, and you got
just-
someone being like moan harder, you know, and,
totally.
the whole thing.
and the lights and
Right.
just like everything.
And you're starting and stopping and
Yeah.
everyone hates each other and whatever. It's the whole thing is very fascinating to me. On this subject, this is not about pornography at all, but just the idea of like having somebody that would, think about the comfort of people when the subject matter is at the root of a lot of discomfort. I worked at this company, shall not be named, some time ago, and it was great. There was like speakers, and it was a cool office and whatever. And they played a lot of like hip hop, which was great, And I'm not a prude at all. I also like hip hop, and I also prefer the explicit version. If there's
Sure.
going to be a clean, I want the real one.
Sure.
But this office was full of women, and you could hear the lyrics fine. The music was fairly loud, and I remember just being like, slob on my knob. Like there's certain things where I'm like, this is like not actually appropriate.
Yeah, totally.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think it was fine in general.
Yeah.
Because this was a corporate environment.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And I remember being like, I mean, I'm not going to say anything. And I don't work there anymore anyway. But I remember just being like, I mean, unless like everybody signed something at some point and I just didn't know because I was just a consultant.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just, there's kind of gray areas.
Oh yeah, for sure. And everybody has their comfort levels, so especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
We already talked a little bit about Patreon, but I did want to mention iTunes really quick. If you guys feel inspired to write a review, and we would just love you forever. Pretty much. I mean, let me just be honest. That's what we're trying to do here, is be totally frank.
Well, so, we mentioned, Patreon at the top of the show. Again, patreon.com/have such a good day. If for any reason you're like, well, okay, where else are you? Obviously, we're a podcast, so we're on any podcast app of your choice. If you want to just figure out a little bit more of what we're all about, see some synopses of past episodes, havesuchagooddday.com is our address. And we also want to, as we mentioned, we are community supported, and we hope to grow the show, and we have lots of goals and milestones that getting more community contributions, we need that in order to do that. However, if you cannot afford $1 a month or any of our higher tiers, leaving a review, telling friends, kind of spreading the word.
Spreading the word.
Giving us feedback on how we can make the show better. That is all super appreciated because you are one of us as well.
Yeah, and we're doing the show for you and for ourselves, but email us at hi@havesuchagooddday.com. And if you haven't seen your name, if you are a patron, and you're paying $1 or more, we have your name on the Patron Wall of Fame on our website at havesuchagooddday.com, and you can see the Have Such a Good Day Coast Guard, and you can see your name.
Yes, because you are part of the Coast Guard, and I now don't really remember why we decided to call you the Coast Guard.
Well, because you are there in the boat with us, and you want to keep the boat afloat.
Nautical theme, right?
It's a good theme.
Yeah, and $10 patrons see their name at the end of our the bonus topic.
Yes, they do.
In our video version as well, and I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a fun little scroll.
It's a fun little scroll. You know what else is fun?
What?
Twitter.
Yeah,
I
know you love your Twitter.
I say this to Heather because she rarely uses Twitter, but
I like a little private life sometimes.
Well, I don't always tweet, but I do lurk. And that said, I find Twitter to be insufferable all the time. So it's not like it's the perfect network for me, but it is something that is part of my morning routine without fail. It would be hard for me to not open Twitter all day. I'd think that like the world was ending and I just didn't know. But Twitter is actually testing a few kind of interesting new features. Now, these are not features that are live yet, but the company is all on this whole like, we want to be transparent with our community because they've had a lot of backlash from people saying, you have people being harassed and your community guidelines aren't clear and you're not doing enough to make this a safe space for folks. So the company's kind of on this initiative. The first one is the idea that, okay, so if you know how you can pin a tweet at the top of your profile, like maybe it's like, I don't know, something that's you thought it was really funny or describes you. So instead of actually pinning a tweet, you can pin a thought at the top of your profile, such as, Sarah would like to talk about this show, or it's kind of like it's sort of encouraging what you're all about. Did anyone understand the last episode of Westworld? This is one of the examples that I'm reading. I'm so confused. So it's sort of like a pinned tweet, but it's more of like something that lives at the top of your profile to let people know that you're interested in talking about something.
So it begs for conversation.
It begs for conversation.
Exactly. Is that the primary purpose, or is it also to show like what you're into and just kind of like highlight?
It's more of, I want to talk about this right now.
Okay.
The problem I have with this, if I'm understanding the feature correctly, is that it requires, if you did this, me to go to your profile. I never visit anyone's profile.
Yeah.
I use
just read the feed.
Yeah, and I use a third-party app, so it's that one. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I get that they're trying to spur conversation.
Do you have a pin up there now, or?
I don't know. Let's look. I probably have pinned a tweet.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
twitter.com/Sarah Lane. Because I don't go to my own profile. Nope, I did not.
I kind of like that idea. I mean, I could get into that because, I mean, I'm always having like crazy thoughts and I would like to hear from people.
So the next feature is the idea that if you're actually online, you get one of those sort of like status, like a green dot, right? That you see on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
You see it on Facebook too.
Yeah.
And various other networks. Now this one is a mixed bag to me because as somebody who considers herself a very good internet detective, but also knows that she needs to back off every now and then, knowing when someone's online is a very dangerous tool.
Yeah.
Especially when like they haven't gotten back to you,
Sure,
or you're avoiding them,
yeah,
or just something where it's like, now I kind of know that you're either looking at your phone or you're sitting at your computer, right?
Sure.
You just know, it's knowing a lot lot about somebody's habits.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there are a lot of people with green dots where I'm like, okay, I know I'm online a lot, but so are you.
Yeah.
This is my job. So Twitter is considering doing the same thing.
Okay.
So if somebody's on Twitter, maybe you'd be more inclined to DM them because you know that they're going to see it right
there,
away.
and then they're they wouldn't know when they would get back to them. I understand that. Okay, cool. I like that. I mean, I think, more, I guess, visibility, the better.
Yeah. The third, and this is probably the most helpful, I think, across the board is, so how many times have you seen a tweet and you're like, I don't even know what they're referencing? All the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or there's a hashtag where you're like, I don't know what that is. This happens to me all the time where I'll be, I don't know, like I'm watching the World Series. Go Sox, by the way. And I'm freaking out, and so I'm tweeting with whoever's on Twitter right then, or you're watching the Oscars, or, you're reacting to something and the people who are reading it right then, who are watching the same thing that you're watching, know what you meant.
Yeah, totally.
We're all tweet like, oh my God.
And then they know what you're referring to.
Yeah, and I'm not going to be like hashtag World Series.
Yeah,
I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
But then I'll get these like replies like either at the moment or a couple days later being like, what's wrong, Sarah? Which is nice, but I'm like, oh my God.
Like, now you have to explain exactly what was going on.
Or you just don't and they think you're weird.
Yeah.
And they're like, what kind of a tweeter is that? So what Twitter wants to do is allow sort of like location information or something along the lines of I voted today, or it's basically little context bubbles that would accompany a tweet. So you don't have to say it.
Okay.
So for example, if you're at South by Southwest, right? You can talk about that, but I would see a little banner being like, oh, okay. So you don't have to like hashtag South by Southwest, hashtag Convention Center.
It's like streamlining the stuff that already exists. I mean, everything's always getting streamlined, but I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hashtags are annoying.
And it's like hashtags work okay.
They can be great, but yeah.
And I know people like to use their funny hashtags and whatever. You live the life that you want to. You live your truth. But I think that Twitter must realize that people don't get it.
Yeah.
Because there is missing context a lot of the time.
Yeah, and maybe this will help bring, people who don't use Twitter, maybe they'll start using it because it has more context and it makes more sense.
Well, and anybody who's kind of a light user, I can see that the whole idea is to be more inclusive. Okay, let's give people more of a reason. Well, maybe the online status isn't super inclusive. It's more of like stalker tool. but that also describes the kind of person that I am.
Stalker.
So, and again, like I said, this is not live. These are internal tests. They could change their minds. But I think that as we see these social networks kind of grapple with backlash from folks saying like, is this really healthy? Why are we all doing this?
Yeah.
Social networks are the worst. People.
Yeah, that's definitely happening.
Then it was interesting to me.
I think it's really interesting. I really love seeing all this stuff evolve. I mean, you're a lot more sort of immersed in it, but I keep tabs on stuff. I mean, I think it's fascinating. It's a fascinating development in our culture, in our society.
So there was your tech minute, everybody.
I love it. We haven't had one of those in a while.
No, I know. It's
It's a good one.
It can't all be tech.
I know, I can't.
I was joking with Heather before the show. I was like, we're going to talk about Microsoft's Q1 earnings. And Heather's like,
brain explosion.
Quick, let me read of them. Just kidding. Not for this show. Not for this show.
I'll be like, okay.
Yeah. They did well. That's all you need to know.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm really
Yeah.
happy to hear that.
Good on you, Microsoft. You're still in the game.
So, we've been talking a lot about, relationships and love.
Correct.
I mean, I think we should do a themed show at some point, maybe in like around Valentine's Day or something. We'll do like an all love show, all relationship show.
For Halloween, we could do all of our worst nightmares.
That's actually a great idea.
I know.
Maybe we should do that next week.
Okay. If you guys hate the idea, let us know.
Halloween's what, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, so it'd be it's fine. I mean, it'll be a few days after that, but
yeah, whatever.
No, I think it'd be great.
Okay, good. You'll hear our worst nightmares and daymares.
Yes,
because
I have those too.
Sometimes life is a living nightmare.
See, I would rather have a nightmare because then it's not real. Daymares are
I don't
worst.
actually want to lose my dog.
No, definitely not.
No,
daymares can just go to hell.
Boo.
So I know that there's things that you binge and that you do to, I don't know, heal wounds. Like, or when you have a bad day or whatever, like what do you do? Like sometimes just sitting on the couch with a good dinner and watching something just soothes my soul.
Yes.
So for the last 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes I'll get on a whole thing where I want to binge some old movies that I've seen before. Mm-hmm. And there's something comforting about watching. I don't know how often you watch a movie over and over, but certain ones you get to a point where you're like, oh, I can't watch that again. I've seen it too many times, which I felt about one of these movies, but for the most part, it is fun to rewatch because there's no element of surprise. It's just comforting.
Yeah.
So I decided to binge some Woody Allen movies.
Okay.
And I got through probably 5 or 6. I have seen Annie Hall way too many times, and I think I was a little bit, I can't watch this for a while,
Yeah.
But it helps with sort of, heart stuff. I feel like watching romantic comedies or these neurotic comedies sort of help you sort of you can relate to them and be like, oh look, like these are very common crises that humans have, and so it almost makes you feel like you're less alone with what you're going through. I think that's why it's so healing for me. So that was that. I really enjoyed that. But I also I was talking to a friend of mine, Mauricio. He's actually a mutual friend of ours.
Yes, hello, Mel.
And I don't know if he's listening, but he did do a lot of the.
Better be.
He better
he's
be.
No
I'm
longer my friend.
So pissed. He actually did a lot of the photography of some of the photos that are on our website for the show. Anyway, we were talking the other night, and he asked me if I knew about like relationship attachment styles, and I didn't. I actually, maybe at some point I heard about it, but I didn't know much about it. And what he told me really fascinated me, and it really shed some light on some things I've been thinking about lately. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these. Google it. I won't get into too much detail, but there are 4 of them, and one of them is like the ideal scenario, and they call it secure. That means the relationship is open and honest. There's an equal, everyone, both people feel independent and they're loving and they're there for each other and that kind of thing. That's what you want for like a good marriage. That's what you want to shoot for. There's, anxious, preoccupied attachment, which is when, they're, someone's looking to their partner to like rescue them or complete them, fill a hole. It's like a security blanket. The dismissive avoidant attachment is also very interesting. They have a tendency to emotionally distance themselves from their partner, and that's one to read about. There's a lot going on there, and then there's the fearful avoidant attachment, where they're in kind of an ambivalent state, where they're afraid to get too close, but afraid to be too distant. So it's kind of like this weird ambivalent thing. I thought it was super interesting, and I learned a lot from it. But if you guys want to learn a little bit more, Google it, and there's all kinds of stuff. But yeah, and this isn't necessarily applying to my own life. It's something I've been mulling over. Well, and it does help shed some light.
All 4 of those, I'm sure I have qualities of, I think that probably the idea is that if somebody's trying to do a little soul searching or learn more about their partner, then one person would fit one of these more than the other three.
Exactly.
But, you know, I those are all people that I know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And sometimes it's me.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to be secure all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not always.
No. How can you be?
Well,
I guess those secure
people have gotten it all figured out.
Yeah, screw you guys.
Mothers. All y'all. But yeah, no, that's interesting. I think that you know, again, without getting too personal, it's like I think a lot of times people, they do feel something's missing, and it's probably only something that they can fix.
Yeah.
And they hope
so
that
true.
being with the right person fixes that. And it's so important to realize that. And I hate it when people say, like, if you don't love yourself,
I know,
you'll never really, no one will ever be able to love you either.
I don't know if I agree with that, actually.
Well, well, I don't know. I mean, it's, again, we'll do it at Valentine's Day, but that annoys me.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of truth to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, anyway.
Good stuff.
Well, thanks, Mauricio. We've learned.
We appreciate your insight. Indeed. Anyway, so I think it's about time to put a fork in this one, isn't it, Sarah?
To put a fork in it because we are done. Why did we say that?
I don't know. Oh, because it's like if you have a baked potato in the oven and you put a fork in it to check to see if it's done.
Oh.
So it actually makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
Even
No, I'm honestly like, I thought it meant like you cleaned your plate. And I never really got it.
Well,
because I'm like, you can't put a fork in it because the plate's now empty.
I mean, but I get what you're saying on that though, because you're like you stake, like it's like you're done,
Well,
but
because the expression is about being done with something.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was like it's done cooking.
I don't know.
Man.
I mean, that's what I always thought. But, it's actually interesting to analyze these expressions because they were created so long ago.
Right.
When the world was very different and very weird.
Yes, I love expressions.
They're so interesting. And some of these, like,
Thank God the world isn't weird anymore.
I know.
I'm so glad.
One of my,
we're all very secure.
I know we are. And so normal.
And rich.
So one of my favorite expressions is sometimes I'll say it when I feel really, and I'm surprised you don't say this because I think it's a good one.
Okay.
But when you're having really crappy day, or how you feel really bad, I like to say I feel like I'm hell in a handbasket.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one. Just because it's like,
I
and
think
that one's really old school.
I've probably said the world is going to hell in a handbasket or something. I probably haven't said it in a long time, if I ever have. You're right.
I think it's like, I remember looking it up, and it's something like during wartime, and it was like body parts in a basket or something like so crazy.
Right.
That's what's so weird about these expressions is they really, when you dig into them, it's dark. It's like really dark stuff. Anyway. All right. Well,
on that note,
bonus topic coming up in a second here, but wherever you are and whenever you are,
we hope you have such a good day.
Such a wonderful day.
I mean, even if you're laughing at us and not with us, if we've achieved a smile on your face, we have achieved glory.
We are happy. Even if you feel like hell in a handbasket, hopefully we have turned that around for you.
Hey, man, I got bitten by a lot of mosquitoes during the show, so we're all in hell in a handbasket together. Love a good handbasket. Until next time, I'm Sarah.
I'm Heather.
See you next week.
Bye.